What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's the Corporate Press Express, where we debunk all the corporate press lies constantly on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, these people just love to spew their nonsense, and I just eat it up like I sop it up with a freaking biscuit, throw it in my mouth, and chew on it forever because it's so savory when you can knock these people off their pedestal. Hey, they look crazy from the high horse that they are sitting upon. Yes, that is a matter of fact. But we got a big story to get into. Now, I'll be honest, I'm going to try to keep this short. So, I wasn't even going to cover this. I already had two stories worked out. And then I just kept scrolling through my news feed, and I came across this. I was like, let me go ahead and read this and see what the hell. And then I'm like, okay, so we've got to cover this. So, check this out, folks. Here we go with the AP again, y'all. The AP is hitting 10 for 10 right now. One screen, two movies, conflicting conspiracy theories emerge from the Trump rally shooting. Now, I really didn't want to talk about this because this has been non-stop on the news feed ever since it happened. This is all people can freaking talk about because we have been getting the slow drip of information just slowly coming out, and it makes less and less and less sense, right? Usually when something happens and you start getting more and more and more information, you start putting the pieces together, right? And everything starts to come together and you can finally work out, what happened. But with this case, it's getting more and more confusing. There's more and more and more questions, right? Like the Secret Service knew about this guy for 3 freaking hours beforehand, right? Like they knew he was an active threat 10 minutes before Trump even took the stage. That's really hard to defend as Kimberly Cheetle, as anybody on scene, any of the Secret Service, right? Look, we know these people all have radios. They could have just radioed in, told Trump, hey, look, hang on, chill back. Let's eliminate this threat. Let's see what the hell's going on with this threat. And blah, 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 blah. Right? But according to the corporate press, the mainstream narrative machine, y'all, that is a grand conspiracy theory. If you don't buy into a crazed lunatic slipped through the cracks of security and was able to pop off some shots at a former president, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist, folks. Check it out. No, we got a lot to get into because they the corporate press loves to hear themselves talk. So let's get into it. I'm going to be rolling kind of fast, so I apologize for any misslips. A former president is wounded in a shooting. The gunman quickly neutralized, and all of it is caught on camera. But for those who don't believe their eyes, that's just the start of the story. For some supporters of Donald Trump, the failure of the Secret Service to prevent the attempted assassination of the Republican former president points to a conspiracy orchestrated by Democratic President Joe Biden. False! Nobody believes this is orchestrated by Democratic President Joe Biden. Nobody. Once again, the corporate press is trying to throw you off the trail. Nobody believes that. Nobody is thinking that. And if you are, you're a lunatic. You're crazy. Get the hell out of here. This wasn't orchestrated by Joe Biden. We have millions of people out there in this country, unfortunately, that have Trump derangement syndrome. And with that, statistically, do you think that, it could be one, maybe two Secret Service members don't have Trump derangement syndrome? That's how easy this could be. Right? It could be just this guy doesn't like Trump very much. He sees something suspicious. I'm going to look the other way. Simple as that, folks. That's not a grand conspiracy theory to think that. Two dueling conspiracy theories are taking root online following Trump's attempted assassination, one for each of the America's polarized political spectrum. In this split-screen republic, Americans are increasingly choosing their own reality at the expense of a shared understanding of the facts. No, I'm sorry. I do believe most people do understand the facts. And for most people that I've talked to and seen comments from online, they are questioning the facts. Why? Why was this allowed to happen? Why did they do this? Why did they do this? They shouldn't have done this. This is totally abnormal. They normally don't do this, so how come they did? That's what's going on. We're not grand conspiracizing over here. One Screen, Two Movies is how Ron Basilin describes the online reaction to Saturday's shooting at a Pennsylvania rally. Basilin is a prolific user of social media and has used X to broadcast his conjecture about the shooting. People have their beliefs, and they're going to come up with theories that fit their beliefs. Basilin is one of many Republicans now questioning how the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was able to climb to the roof of a building providing a clear shot at Trump, and whether law enforcement looked the other way to allow the attempt. Basilin acknowledged that he doesn't have proof to back up his conjecture, but the Culver City, California resident said many people will be distrustful of explanations until an independent review of the facts is completed. It seems highly suspicious, Basilin said, of the attack on Trump and how the law enforcement responds. Something was going on that was more than a slip-up. I'm sorry. Where's the grand conspiracy here? Right? Of course it was more than a slip-up. Anybody who is being just a little bit honest can look at this and say, okay, so you've got catastrophic failure after catastrophic failure. It's just one catastrophic failure after another for several steps to get to this point to where this guy can make it to the roof and get off these shots, right? Look at the facts, Associated Press. As a matter of fact, look at all the facts, right? This guy went to Home Depot, bought a ladder, walked it through the woods, propped it up on the building, right? And supposedly this building was a rallying point, essentially a meetup spot. I'm sorry, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but a meetup spot for local police, right? Supposedly, right? And then we get the excuse that, oh, the roof had a slope. Well, hang on just a second. Do you see this? You see that sniper's on a roof with a slope. What? I'm sorry, it's not just that we're looking past the facts here. It's not just that. It's the excuses that were given from the corporate press and from the official sources, right? Like, some of the excuses that are given are just, they don't make sense. They don't follow the facts. So what are we to believe here, right? These people, but they want to make you think that people like me, for questioning these things and pointing out logical inconsistencies, for some reason, that's a crazy conspiracy theory, y'all. Authorities have released no information about Crooks' possible motive, but, right, that's another thing, right? What's his possible motive? God dang, man, these people are just insane. His motive was obvious. Jesus. We don't need to know what his motive was. We know what his motive was. It was the intent to unalive President Trump. Though they have said they believe he acted alone, but a lack of details from law enforcement and mounting questions about the Secret Service's performance have led online sleuths to speculate, often in ways that reveal their own ideological leanings. Yeah, right. Some of the claims about the shooting have already been debunked, despite the claim that the Secret Service refused to give Trump extra security before the rally. The agency says it actually increased staffing. A post from someone claiming to be a law enforcement sniper at the rally, who said they were ordered not to fire on the shooter, was discredited after it turned out no sharpshooter by his name was working on Saturday. And a photo that supposedly showed an uninjured Trump after the rally turned out to be a picture from 2022. Yeah, we saw that one. I happen to hear that claim too, of the Secret Service not giving. But supposedly Iran was supposed to have some sort of an assassination attempt coming down the pipeline, and they increased security, right? So that claim, now that they're coming out, the corporate press is saying, oh, it was Iran, he had increased security. Well, hang on. So we've got all these epic failures after, a ladder, essentially, of epic failures going on here, and you had increased Secret Service protection. Okay, that once again, the official narrative is causing us to question that even more, because once again, that makes no logical sense. If you knew that there was an active threat from a foreign actor, right, and you know for a fact Joe Biden has this open border on the southern border, just allowing millions of people to pour in and claim political asylum, right? So you know this. These are facts. I'm sorry. Those aren't conspiracy theories. Those are facts, corporate press. So we know all this. And we know there's an active threat, open border, and you're going to give him more security. That makes this even less believable that some guy just slipped through the security cracks, right? There's all kinds of, like, I could be here forever naming the little bitty things like, why was there line of sight to Donald Trump? Why wasn't there a sign put up, talking what Dan Bongino brought this up, right? Like, most of the time in a situation like that, when you have clear line of sight from a place such as this, they put up some sort of a sign, something to block that line of sight so they can't be seen, whether it's putting something over glass, putting up a sign, blah, blah, blah. You get it. But, I could be here forever with all the missteps, right? Like, he was seen 26 minutes before, right? 10 minutes before they knew of an active threat. How come this guy didn't warn Trump? 2 minutes before. People were screaming that this guy is up on the roof with a gun. 2 whole minutes. And we know for a fact, once again, they have radios. They could have radioed, hey, active shooter, possible threat, something to get Trump to stop talking and get off stage. Like, there's so many steps here that have to be, we have to leap in logic to disbelieve that they just overlooked this, that they just forgot to call it in on the radio. Several times forgot to call it in on the radio, right? And with the cop going up to the roof and dude pointing his gun at the cop. What? Like, and that hasn't been refuted. That hasn't been debunked, corporate press. Just that alone, right? How come he didn't radio to the other cops and they didn't radio Secret Service? Or as a matter of fact, they had enough time. Run over there and go tell Trump yourself to get off a stage, right? These are the questions that we have that need some answers. And all the answers that we're getting don't follow the facts. They don't follow the logic. They don't follow none of these things. So what else are we to do but think that it was some sort of inside job, even though I don't really want to say it's an inside job, right? Because it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be an inside job whatsoever. All it takes is 1 to 2 people to just look the other way. That's it. No grand conspiracy theory, right? This dude doing his thing, a lone gunman by himself does this, and a couple of people just look the other way. And that's it. That's how this happens. I have a feeling that's what it's going to be, but we'll never get that answer because who is going to admit that they just look the other way? Nobody. But the reason I'm covering this story is coming up. The corporate press loves to lie, y'all. Humans have an inherent drive to share information and conjecture following big events like disasters, political assassinations, or seemingly inexplicable events, a process experts called collective sense-making. I love that, collective sense-making. It collectively makes sense. Often, experts say we look for information that makes us feel safe or in control of uncertainty. Trump's attempted assassination is only the most recent example on a list that also includes the JFK assassination, the moon landing, September 11, 2001 attacks, Sandy Hook shooting, COVID-19, January 6th, attack on the Capitol, blah, blah, blah. Many of the claims about the Trump assassination attempt emerged first on fringe social media platforms like 4chan before migrating to larger sites like X or TikTok, where they have been seen by far more people. Rumoring under these conditions is a normal thing that humans do, said Kate Starbird, a University of Washington professor who studies misinformation and how people use the internet following crises. Well, think about that. Think about what are you going to college for? Oh, I'm studying misinformation. So you're studying lies. Okay. Attempts to put the shooting in a political context began within minutes of the shooting, Starbird said. People tried almost from the beginning to frame the event in a way that benefits their political goals. No, we're trying to make sense of it, not frame our political goals. Nobody cares about that. Once again, they're trying to put you off the trail. Many of those rumors may contain exaggerations, missing context, or outright falsehoods that generate conspiracy theories. The misleading information is then amplified by online trolls, politicians, internet influencers, and online merchants trying to hawk merchandise tied to the assassination attempt. With few guardrails in place to combat bad information online, such claims can quickly spread, impacting the election in 2024 and potentially persisting for years to come. Yes, that is called the First Amendment. You have the right to say whatever the hell you want to say. These people are nuts. These people don't advocate for free speech. They think that mis and disinformation shouldn't be posted online. I'm sorry. You have the right to get it wrong. Right? Who holds the corporate press? When they lie, when they're constantly lying. That's mis and disinformation, as a matter of fact. But nobody shuts down CNN for lying, do they? No, they don't. The flood of false or misleading information about the shooting will only make it harder for voters to find trustworthy information ahead of the 2024 election. Yeah, we get it. Lucrative business model. Yeah, blah. Who cares? Social media platforms have recently pulled back from content moderation efforts designed to prevent the spread of misinformation, while some sites, blah, 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 we get it. 250, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I'm skipping that. The algorithms take out most of the outlandish content and amplified it exponentially until the entire digital world is flooded with conspiracism, disinformation, and hate. I'm going to say, yeah, blah, 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 who cares? Oh, here we go. Russian state media and some pro-Kremlin influencers are already seizing on the shooting, with content blaming Democrats for what happened or questioning authorities' explanations based on recent posts from users with ties to Russia. There you go, folks. If you question the official explanation, you're a Russian agent. You're a Putin propagandist, folks. That's what you are. That's what I am, I guess. That's outright retarded. I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but that is the stupidest, dumbest thing I've ever heard. That is retarded. Once again, the corporate press trying to take something and trying to make you think that, look, if you don't believe us when we tell you whatever we're gonna tell you, that makes no sense. You're a Russian agent. You're some foreign agent trying to dispel misinformation on the entire populace, and you should be taken out immediately. That's what they're trying to tell you. It's bullshit, folks. Almost makes you think they let it happen and then got rid of the guy because dead men tell no tales, wrote John Mark Dugan, a former Florida sheriff's deputy turned online influencer who now writes pro-Kremlin content. Well, get that, folks. And guess what? Yeah, I happened to go through I went to this guy's X account to look up to see what his pro-Kremlin content is, right? He doesn't like the Ukrainian-Russian war. He doesn't think that we should be funding this war. So that's his pro-Kremlin content. Oh yeah, and he reposted Tucker Carlson's interview with Vladimir Putin. So there you go, folks. Yeah, don't let the corporate press lie to you. These people are insane. They are evil. That is the misinformation, the very misinformation that they're trying to warn you against. And they're giving it to you in their article. But take our word for it. We're a trusted news agency, folks. Yeah, you can trust our agenda. Our sources are good. Trust us. Russia, as well as China and Iran, have used social media disinformation in the past in efforts to undermine Americans' trust in government and democracy. Remember that, folks, and increase polarization ahead of elections. The goal is to exploit the understandable confusion, anger, and concern that many Americans feel following the attempted assassination. Federal officials say they expect Russia and other adversaries to expand their disinformation campaigns targeting the U.S. as November nears. Watch out for Putin propagandists out there, y'all. Conspiracy theories have played an outsized role in recent American politics, and much of the attention has focused on right-leaning theories like QAnon, a movement that claims, without evidence, y'all, that Democrats are involved in a global ring of satanic child-molesting cannibals. Jeffrey Epstein, folks. P. Diddy. Now, the cannibals part, I have no idea about. But Jeffrey Epstein most certainly was a influential Democrat. Hang on, Bill Clinton. Did you forget about that? Hang on, wasn't he a president? And wasn't he a Democrat? Yeah, as a matter of fact, he was. So what are you talking about, Associated Press? Once again, man, I really wish that I could go up to all these people at the Associated Press. Like, I wish every single one of those people would watch this video, because you guys are the evil, the very evil that you guys are talking about. You guys are the purveyors of the mis and disinformation that you're warning us about. This is absurd, right? Coming from the corporate press, trying to warn you against this stuff while actively feeding you the bullshit all at the same time. It is just great. I'm loving it. I am just loving this. But the onslaught of misinformation and conspiracy theories following the attempted assassination show conspiracy theories know no party. They target the left and right, and the same goes for homegrown domestic sources of misinformation, said David Salvo, a senior fellow and managing director of the Alliance for Securing Democracy, a Washington-based group that tracks foreign disinformation. He has this advice for anyone interested in finding reliable, trustworthy information about the shooting. Check your sources and check the agenda behind those sources. There you go, folks. Check your sources. Make sure it's corporate press sources. Make sure they're official sources. They're not coming from X, because you can't get your news from places like X, because they'll lie to you, folks. They'll lie to you on a constant and daily basis, and we won't. We are the Associated Press, and we are the bringers of truth, for God's sakes. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. It is just great, and I love to see it. Man, these people, once again, are the very evil they are warning you about. This is the reason that the United States is so hyper-polarized right now. That's how I see it. When I see videos from left leaning, when I try to connect the two, try to see what's going on, you have the people on the left generally buy into and propagate the corporate press and the official narrative, right? When people on the right, they propagate the truth, the facts, which some of it does come from the corporate press, because the corporate press just can't outright lie about everything. They have to give you the facts, right? But they give you the facts with a twist. A left-leaning twist. They push you in this certain direction to make you think this when it's really that. Right? They can twist the truth around so much that it pretty much is an outright lie. And that's what they're trying to do with these stories. They're trying to make you think you're some QAnon crazy conspiracy theorist if you don't take the official story. Well, guess what, folks? The official story has some holes in it. Right? It's kind of like a boat with a screen door. Right? It's going to sink. We are never going to know the full-on truth of this. Like I said. Because you got the official story out there. A lone gunman just slipped through the cracks, folks. Just happened to slip through the cracks. Even though we had all these warning signs come up and nobody acted. For 3 hours, nobody acted. You had warning sign after warning sign after warning sign. You had, once again, 2 full minutes of people saying there's a guy with a gun on the roof pointing it at Donald Trump. Right? Radio signals move at the speed of light. So they're way faster than a bullet. All somebody would have had to do on that little copper is beep, beep. And as a matter of fact, at 150 meters, a cop could have ran over to where Trump was speaking, grabbed Trump and pulled him off of the damn stage before 2 minutes. Right? There's some people that can run a mile in 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, so that guy could have ran in 2 minutes ran over there, yelled something at the Secret Service. Something. So why didn't he? Why didn't anybody radio? Like, there's just so many questions we're never going to get the answers to. So don't let any crazy conspiracy theorist out there tell you that, yeah, we're going to get the answer to this and we need answers for this, because we're probably not going to get the answers. And guess what, folks? We're dealing with the Biden administration currently, so we're not going to get any head rolling with this either, right? Kimberly Cheadle is not going to step down. She's not going to be fired. They never fire anybody. The Biden administration refuses to hold anybody accountable for their actions. Right? Alejandro Mayorkas was impeached, for God's sakes. And the Senate, the Democrats, and the Biden administration refused to do anything about his mishandling of the border situation. But I think I've rambled on for quite long enough, I do believe. It's a little bit longer than my normal videos, but I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section, right? Like I said, I was just bringing this to you because of the corporate press lies. I didn't want to talk about Trump again, because I try to bring you news, I try to keep you up to date, and I'm sure you guys know all these facts. All these facts are out there, so I wasn't trying to bring that to you, but, you know, my main reason for existence is to take the corporate press down. Is to at least get the people that are constantly lying to you guys, to get these people out of the business, because we don't need that garbage. We don't need, we don't need our facts skewed in a certain direction. We don't need chocolate-coated facts, in other words. We just need the facts, and that's it. Let me form my own opinion, however the hell I feel like it. That's their problem. They don't want you to form your own opinion. They want you to have their opinion. So that's how they give it to you. They give you the facts, coated, chocolate covered with their opinion. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. And stay legitical. Peace.
I'm a cause I'm a problem child. I'm a cause I'm a problem child.
Put the verse in a hearse and I got the ball rolling. I'm swirling your melon, going platinum, never golden. The boys folding like $100 bill. They don't